Hello. Hello. How are we doing? Oh, you've joined me. There we go. People are on board. Hello, good evening. How is it going? Hopefully you can hear me. Hello, Dean. Tim. There's lots of people coming in. So all regulars are joining in. Thank you guys for joining me again tonight. Hope you are all well and you can hear me. That makes a change. Tried to be a little bit fancy yesterday. I'm still getting used to this software that I'm trying to use. It doesn't seem to want to work properly today either, so that's a bit of a pain, but not to worry, we can still do what we need to do. So hope you've had a good day. Hope you have kept yourself safe and everything is all right with you. Today, what are we going to do? So, while the app is still there for you to download, we've had the competition and it closed on midnight on Sunday, so we will be announcing the winner of the prize draw a bit later on. Don't want to do it straight away, keep you on tenterhooks. And what else are we going to do? We're going to look at what goes into a Txi-D, what goes into making it, how it's assembled as best as I can show you, what it looks like on the inside, and what makes it, the time and effort that we put into it to make it the most reliable bite alarm that we could possibly make. And together with the EVD, it's made exactly the same way. So the most reliable bite alarms that that we have ever made. So we're going to have a look at that. There's been a few people asking a few questions, so I'll try and cover some of that as well. Hello, if you're just joining us, welcome. Hope you're well, hope you're safe. Facebook Live on a Tuesday. And we are going to go through, if you haven't just joined us, what's in a Txi-D, how it goes together, a few tips on what to do with your equipment, perhaps as well, which is probably something that I'll start on. While we're sitting around not doing a lot, there are a few little things that you can do that would prolong and certainly be best practice for keeping your kit nice and sparkly and last you forevermore. And this goes for every single product that we have. Okay, so number one, take your batteries out. So that would be certainly the first thing we'd do. Disconnect your batteries. If you're going to put your products away and store them away for any length of time, looks like we're going to be unfortunately down this for a few weeks. So disconnect your batteries, and that will stop them. Sometimes batteries leak. You don't want that, and you don't want any damage to the battery connectors. There's no damage to the alarm, just by having the power in there. But what it is because it might leak when batteries are left, and if you've left them somewhere that might be, damp, or somewhere if you've just thrown them in your bag and left them out, in the cold, then if you leave them, unused for any length of time, good practice. Just take the batteries out, leave them closed again, and then go and connect your batteries up when you're back up and running. If you're using them on a regular basis, then there's no problem leaving the battery in. But for a longevity of storage, then take the batteries out. Number two would be, if you have got some alarms and a nice little soft toothbrush, would be just get in there and make sure you give your Y-piece there, little sensor, a little clean up. Okay, nothing too hard, nothing really stiff, but just a light brush, just to make sure if there's any light weed in there or even cobwebs. We certainly get all sorts of bugs and stuff on the inside of these things, which can be a little bit disconcerting sometimes. Rob, who does the repairs, has to deal with insect control, but we get spiders and earwigs and woodlice and all sorts in there. You can't stop that, but what you can do is just give them a little clean, just brush off any loose dirt that's in there, and that will also make sure that the line sits nicely on that sensor. And that's the same whether it's a Txi plus, old ones, new ones, some as big as your head, it doesn't matter. Just give them a little brush and that will sort that out. And the same would be said for hangers. So I'll just grab them now. There we go. So there's the hangers. Let me just turn them out. So again, these have got magnets on. So what generally tends to happen is that, and I'll show you the other sort as well. Okay, what tends to happen is when they're in your bag, over time, little bits of metal filings and all little bits of anything that's metal that's hanging about in the bottom of your bag that collects over time will stick to the magnets. And what can happen is that those little metal filings or whatever it is that's hanging about, just little bits, can sometimes start to corrode on the magnets, or the stainless won't corrode, but you can start to see some discoloration in there. So again, a little brush out every now and again is always good practice. Gets rid of any dirt and weed that builds up in there. Make sure that your line clips, and I'll show you the Nightlight Pro as well, Nightlight V2, sorry, which goes in the Nightlight indication set. Where can you see in there? Yeah, you can. Okay, so same thing, a light brush in there, try and get rid of any dirt or build up of stuff that's in there, and then that will also make sure that they don't tarnish or corrode the bits around them. The stainless steel and the magnets are the highest quality magnets that you can buy. Okay, no magnet is completely stainless and rust proof in terms of never corroding, but they will only tarnish. They don't rust. They'll discolor and a slight tarnish, but again a little bright, but they don't rust. The rust that you see, if anybody has had that around, it will be little bits of metal that have been collected over time because they've been sat in your bag and been used, and just bits of dirt. So a light brush, give it a clean, and then that will sort you out as well for your fishing for the future. And of course the main thing, and this is always going to be the best practice to any electronic equipment, you do the same for your reels as well to make the most out of them. Hopefully you haven't put them away for the moment because we've been not fishing for a couple of weeks, but if you've been fishing in the wet, make sure you dry your equipment off when you get home before you put them away. Same with, if your reels were covered in ground bait and whatever it is, spod mix and water and stuff, and you just threw them in your bag and left them, they would corrode and rust. So, and they're mechanical, so again you have them looked at. So same with the alarms. If you've put them away wet in the case, that's fine. Just take them out when you get home, dry them out, just put them somewhere to just air for a bit, just to naturally dry out, and then put them away with the cases in your bag, and they will last you forever then, because you're not putting any problem in there. If what happens is, if you do sit any electronic equipment, leave it damp, let it fester, just leave it in your bag all sweating and damp, then eventually water will creep in somewhere, and if it's just sitting in there, then there is high potential of it causing some damage. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon. Okay, that can happen, and that would happen to any electrical item that you use for fishing. Okay, you don't want to just leave them soaking wet, let them sit there and hope that they're gonna do, because you just wouldn't do it. Don't do it with you wouldn't leave a bike outside in the wet rusting, and you wouldn't leave your reels soaking wet on your rods or in a rod bag or whatever it is where you store them. You let them breathe, you let them dry, and then everything's great and lasts a long time. So there's a few little basic tips on just longevity. Spend a lot of money on fishing equipment, and just a little bit of TLC every now and again. I know we just want to throw them on, throw them in, and that's it. But it's it's not bait. You don't just throw it in a bag. It's not it's the rods need a bit of care, reels need a bit of care, alarms need a little bit of care. You spend a lot of money on them, so just just a few seconds of your time every now and again just to make sure, and everything should be okay. So all good. Let's do a few hellos then, shall we? It's starting to get to that point where people are coming on regular. So Dimash, hello. Who's this? We've got somebody from Italy. Marco from Italy, hello. Gary Evans, hello. Who else have we got? Michael Lane saying hello. Where have we got people? Misha from the Netherlands, hi from the Netherlands. Philip Dean, hi. Who have we got? Lots of highs, lots of people watching tonight, so that's great. Thank you for joining us. I'm trying to do this every night, half past 6 for half an hour or so. I hope it's entertaining. Oh, it's not entertaining, maybe informative is probably the better thing. I'm not sure I can entertain forever. So let's see how we get on. Okay. Can we add the EVD? Yes, we were in the process of doing that. So Fritz Still, we're in the process of that when all hell let loose. So we've got the user manuals up there, the video bite-sized stuff, so you can look at that. The actual instructions are not on there yet, but they're obviously on our website. But the bite-sized videos are on there, so everything is cool. Oh, one little thing then before we move on to what's inside a Delkim Txi-D. People have asked me a number of times, okay, about this little thing. Can you see it? Let's get me a little pen. So this little bung in here. So all the digital range, okay, have a little coloured bung. They have a little ring around the socket and a little coloured bung that goes in the hole just to keep it protected if you don't use the our visual indication systems that we talked about last night. So and I get lots of people, one, thinking where's the socket, because they don't really read the instructions and they can't work out that that's a little bung, which is fair enough. And then they go, oh, how do I remove it? Very simple. Just get your nail. Can you see that? I'll do it, try and do it. It's always backwards on this. So you just get your nail, you get underneath it, and it just flicks out. So can you see that? It just flicks out, and then you just pull it out. So now there's your socket. If you can't do it with your nail, then a small craft knife with a thin blade would suffice as well to get under there and just pick it out. But most of the time you'll just be able to get your nail underneath and just pick it out. Then put it somewhere safe in your tackle box, and then you can put it back in when you're not using it, or just put it somewhere out of the way. And that's the same on all of those. So hopefully that answers that. We do get asked that a lot. It's fairly simple. It is in the instructions, but you know, I don't read instructions, so why should we expect everybody else to, I suppose. So all good. What else we got? Let's see. Anybody else saying hello? Steve Sinclair, what we got here? Lots of people saying, oh, what's they saying? Somebody, let's have a look. Sebastian Henrotti, problem with braid. No. Did come across this when we were in Zwolle at the Carp Zwolle, biggest European show, which was extremely busy. Seems to be some kind of perpetuating rumour that Delkims don't work with braid. Don't know where that's come from. It's absolute nonsense. In fact, they're probably, without a doubt, the best alarms for braid you can have, because they feel every single movement and you can set them up. And that Y piece, which we'll come to in there, but I'll show you from where it is here. So this Y piece here, there we go. That's made from a material called PEEK, P-E-E-K, and it actually was designed to be used on the space shuttle. So it was plastic, it was lightweight, and they had it on the space shuttle because it was heat resistant for re-entry, and that's how heat resistant that is. So we, on the very first Delkims we made, very first, you know, this is back in 1992, we had a material, and we didn't realise that when you got, people were rowing their baits out, which people, you know, started doing early 90s, the heat went through the sensor, just burnt through it. So very quickly we realised that was a problem, and we changed to this PEEK material, and we have never ever changed it since. And we have never ever had a sensor, a Y piece, melt. Never. So no braid's going to burn through that. You know, we've had swans go through lines and cut the tops off the alarms, but nothing has ever melted that sensor. Okay, and I have showed this. So here we go. that's what's inside every Delkim. And this is the little Y piece here, so that's the little beige colour, tan colour item, and this is the piezo. So I'll get that close so you can see. So the little Y piece is the line guide, and the piezo is the little piece up and down, and that's what the line goes over, and it flexes, and that's what picks up the movement. But no amount of heat through that sensor will melt it. We've never had one back ever, so don't ever believe what you hear and see on the internet half the time. But hey ho, this is what we have to do. So that leads us then, so if we're looking at what is the sensor, then we shall move towards what's inside a Delkim Txi-D. So this is the front, and there you can see where are my little controls. I've got bits falling off of it, and if I take this apart, you will see what's inside. Okay, so this is your circuit board here. This is your aerial. So this what gives you our, the great range that we have. So we've got, these are your push buttons here. Okay, and then you've got your pots for your volume, and well, that's volume, and then that's response. And these are your push buttons. So if you can see there, so it's only small. Doesn't look. How can you see that? If I had my other camera, I'd be alright, but I've had a few technical difficulties, so I'm very sorry. But the big thing with this product, and I don't know if you can see on that, I hope you can, if I can just shine that away a little bit, you might get a bit more. Okay, this on here, so this is our acrylic coating, okay, that we've always used, but now we invested in a robot, and that robot, it was put on by hand before, and now it's applied by a machine, and so that is done by a robot, and that has given us such an improvement in the coating. It's just more consistent, it coats the same every single time, and it's just absolutely bomb proof. So we've had these in rain chambers where it's just sitting and it's pouring on the rain, and that's how we designed it. We added, we went through little bits at a time, checking where there was any water. I'm just trying to find all my bits. I think I've cleared them off my desk now. Where's my bits? Oh, bums. So we've even put, so behind the controls, I will show you. Can you see? So we've got little O-rings behind the controls to stop any water getting in there. So, and the every little bit we did, if there was a touch of water getting in anywhere, then we looked back at the design. And if you look, this is the back half, and we've got a little tongue and groove that runs around the alarm there. Okay, so when you put the two halves together, that sits in the tongue and groove, and we fill that tongue and groove with a sealant. Okay, so not only have you got the acrylic coating that goes on the alarm, okay, which makes it as weatherproof as you can. Because we've got a hole in it, you can't call it waterproof. If it had no hole, we literally it could be considered, you drop it in the lake and it'd be okay, but you can't call it waterproof because technically it's got a hole in it. But it, for all intents and purposes, it's fully waterproof because that sits up like that. The rain goes in there and it doesn't cause it any trouble whatsoever. And with that round there with the sealant, okay, that goes in there in that channel, seals that together. The fit is, those mouldings, the fit is considerably better. Now I'm going to compare it to the mouldings are considerably better quality. You probably can't see, but the fit. So that's the battery door now. Everything on that, the fit and everything is considerably better, tighter, neater, better finished than these old ones with the doors that used to slide down. And that was just because time had moved on and there was no point redesigning something that was going to change. Down here the seams are not very nice, so it was an old moulding. It did its job. It lasted us for virtually how many years? 25 years, 26 years, since 1992. That's virtually the same. We just updated the front, so it did its job. But the way that these go together, so you've got O-rings in here protecting it, you've got it perfectly sealed round here. The aerial is the bottom, and that gives you, let's just show you that again. So you've got the little aerial there that goes to the bottom of the, just get it on there. Everything's opposite, I get confused. Okay, so there's your little aerial. So that's connects to your radio, and that's what it is. So it looks simple, but there's an awful lot of work and know-how and experience and development and software and all those things that go into making something. It's not just the hardware and putting it together. There's all the other things that go into the development of a product that make it what it is. So that is what's inside one of those. So let's just see now if anybody, let's check back to the messages, see what people have got to say. Let's just scroll down a little bit more. What we got? Thank you, Sebastian, for your kind words. We try and be as professional as possible. Let's go up. Richard going, hello. Lewis Simons, hi. Don't forget, we will be announcing the winner of our prize draw very shortly. I know you're desperate to know who is in that. Mike Quinn, bungs for TXIs. That's a good question. The bung will fit in a TXI if you want to. We didn't do it for the TXIs because different product, but the bungs do fit and they are available. So it's something that we could supply if people are interested in the bungs to put in the holes on their older products. Then it's the same size socket, so it would still go in there. What have we got? What's the size difference between a TXI Plus and a TXID? The size difference is about 30%. Who's that? Mark Taylor. So let me I can't see what I'm doing, sorry. So that's, it's 30%. So it's shorter, it's narrower, it's proportionally the same. So that's from the back as well. You can see that it's just more compact. So it's that's an EV there, but it's exactly the same apart from an extra button. So you can see there it's its baby brother or sister. So yeah, it's 30% smaller, that's for sure. What else we got here? A few more hellos. Stuart Green, hello. There's a lot of regulars on here. Obviously all of you are itching to get back down the lake, so I appreciate that. Aren't we all? But I don't know what's going to happen, so who knows. We'll have to see, won't we? So Paul McLaughlin, 90% of my Delkim use is pike fishing, only using braid. I have EVs, TXIs, and I'm now on the TXIDs. Never had a sense of being cut through or melted. There we go. Stand by what I say. So thank you very much for McLaughlin. So don't forget, TXIDs are not just for Christmas. Okay, they do work not just for carp. They work for all sorts of species. That is the key with it. If you're a specimen angler and you're not using Delkims, in fact, if anything, they're probably, they're more advantageous for the specimen angler. If you're fishing for tench, big perch, big roach, bream, they're far more sensitive than any roller buzzer. I don't understand any specimen angler who does not use Delkims. I can understand a carp person who thinks it's just going to belt off 100 mile an hour because they might not feel that there's a benefit, but there is a massive benefit for a specimen angler. So especially with the EVD now, where it's a bit more in their price range. They might be a little bit tight sometimes, especially with anglers. No offence, but I see them, and they're fishing for the tiniest fish with the tiniest movement, and they're fishing with roller buzzers. Makes no sense. There you go. What can I say? So we're getting towards the end now. So it's getting towards 7 o'clock. So I think it's about time we announce the winner of our prize draw. So thank you for everybody that entered. We had over, well, what did we have? Over 3,000, nearly 3,700 entries on that. So people that downloaded it. The app is still there to be downloaded. It's not going away. It's a case of it's just going to be used by people now who need to use it. There's no competition anymore. But the winner is, drum roll, Simone Battaglini from Italy. So there we have an Italian competition winner. Obviously we will be in touch, Simone, and we will be emailing you as soon as probably in the morning. I'll get some details from you. I think maybe it's fair that it goes to an Italian, knowing how difficult it has been over there for them, and let's hope, fingers crossed, it doesn't get that bad over here. But Simone Battaglini, you are the winner of the full set of blue Txi-Ds with a receiver, with hangers, with nightlight indication sets, with a black box, with the weights, with the accessories of the safeties and the d-loks. They are going to you as soon as we can post them out to you, which might not be for a while, and I'm sure you can't use them yet anyway, but we will be getting them out to you as soon as humanly possible. And I thank everyone for entering the prize draw, and I hope that you've even found the app useful, not just because there was a competition involved. That app is of benefit to everyone. But I think we're about done for tonight, people. Once again, I thank you for your company. I do appreciate you guys watching me for half an hour. I don't know why you want to, but I'm trying my best to keep you as entertained as I can, and we'll try and keep going for as long as I've got something to say. But thank you very much for your time. Simone, congratulations once again for winning that huge prize, and maybe we'll do another competition not too much in the distant future and see what we can do. But thank you guys. Good night. If you need any help, post on here. I'll come back to you. We'll build up during the week and we'll see how we do. But good night. God bless. Stay at home. Stay safe. Cheers, guys.